Strength Warehouse presents Go Heavy or Go Home podcast. I am your host, Nate Boley. In this podcast, we talk about strength, fitness, nutrition, and all things Strength Warehouse related. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Tony, one of our members, under a member spotlight, and I'm just going to introduce him, or actually I'm going to let him introduce himself. So, welcome, Tony.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you can just tell us who you are a little bit and how you found Strength Warehouse.
Okay. Yeah, my name's Tony. I've been a member here since October now. Actually have been looking for somewhere to come work out and kind of get some coaching, some consistency.
Sure.
I'm one of those analysis by paralysis people, so I was looking for a year before
Dude, I know how that is. It's terrible. Yeah.
Deciding what was right and all that, and I've been listening to some podcasts and stuff that started coming up a lot more is how good lifting heavy weight is for you and strength training, as opposed to just cardio and all that. So
right.
That's kind of what kind of steered me towards looking more for strength.
Okay.
And oddly enough, after looking in, how when you're online, you start getting advertised too.
You Google something, the next second it's popping up on Facebook.
So, yep. So, Instagram, one day Strength Warehouse came on, and I was like, you know what? It's time to just call and find out more detail.
Yeah.
And you and I talked, and
we talked a few times.
Here I am.
I think we talked a few times, right, before you actually decided it was going to be the thing to
Yeah. So, I would, okay, that's a good point. Yeah, I wanted to find out a little bit more about lifting and stuff, because I was trying to feel out if that was the right route for me to start working out, because I don't just want strength. I want to lose weight. I want to be in better shape overall. I'm on the doorstep of 40, so it's time to I guess elevate the importance of just health more.
Yeah, I agree. How old are you?
I'm 39.
39. I'm 37.
Oh, okay.
I'm right there behind you.
Yeah.
I'm 37 and a half now. Scary.
So Instagram ad came up, gave you a call, and
what was the deciding factor? So, like I said, we chatted a few times on the phone, and I remember you called back and was like, "Yeah, it's time. I want to go with you guys." What was that? Do you remember what that was? Were you looking at other avenues when you were chatting with us?
Yeah. I think the deciding and part of it was this gym offered all the different scheduling. You had the group, you had personal training, which is kind of what I was looking more for. I didn't want to have to reinvent the wheel and find a new thing to study. I wanted somebody who knew what they were doing. Yeah. And I've gone to the gym before and just floated from machine to machine, a weight set to weight set, and it's never saw any results. And I was again, it was one of those decisions okay, I just want somebody to tell me how to do this program and educate me instead of me trying to I've got a job and kids and all that. I don't want to be online what's the best way to lift weights? What's the best way to get cardio? I didn't want to do all that.
Sure.
So,
and I think that's the biggest thing about coaching in general. No matter what industry you're in or whatever you're doing, you're really buying speed.
Yep.
And clarity, right? You just I know for a fact that my coach has me ready to go. For me, my coach is online, so he sends me my program, and I don't have to worry about what am I going to do today? I just there it is. Okay, start doing it. And then when you come here and you see Mike, he's got the plan ready for you. He says, "All right, here we go. We're on it." And you're like,
Absolutely.
"Cool." Yeah, and then you get your workout in and you're on your way.
Yeah, and then you'll hear something on a podcast or something "Oh, is that?" I have somebody "Hey, is this a good idea? Or does this make sense to you?"
Yeah, you have somebody a mind and somebody to bounce that off of.
Yeah,
I totally like that.
Well, that's another thing. You guys all know what you're talking about here. You've seen the education and stuff, and just working with. I've had 2 coaches here, and just in the course of working out, they're saying, "Oh, you're working this muscle set." They have the actual scientific name for them.
Yeah.
And, explain to me why the lift's important to do in a certain posture.
Yep.
Why it's safer that way.
That's awesome.
Why you don't want to overlift. Stuff like that. It's all that stuff I would not know on my own.
Sure.
It would take a lot of Googling and if I'm going to find the right mix of information.
Yeah, so. It's if you were to Google it, would that be the right information?
Exactly.
Now that's why. So I've been dealing with knee pain, and I've been going down the rabbit hole of Google forever. But just taking those into my doctor and being like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" He's like, "Oh no, disregard that. This is what we really need to do, given the knowledge we know now and your situation and imaging and all that stuff, like this is the way to go. And I would never have known that if I would have just been going down the Google path all the time, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. When you came to see us, what was your main goal?
Main goal, general health.
Okay.
The more obviously I want to lose weight, I want to get in better shape. But more just like practical, health. Functional health. That's what I was looking for, functional health.
Cool. Have you achieved that?
I'm getting better. Yeah.
Cool.
So I actually feel a lot better now after, again, I've been here since October. So I definitely feel day to day a lot better.
Mike has said that you improved your 1,000 meter row by almost 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. And your squat technique, which I actually said that to you the other day, I was like, dude, coming in from like just even a few weeks ago, and then now you just look so much more solid and comfortable in that movement. And we can definitely tell you were not when you first came in. You were like, this is weird and it's something different. I'm not used to it. Especially having like a barbell on your back or something like that. Like most people don't squat down with a barbell on their back, right?
Well, that's the other thing. Like going into this, like I didn't lift weights in high school. I didn't play any sports that required that or anything. Right. So like I literally didn't have like gym time with weights before, other than just picking stuff up at the other the gym.
So you're like heavily riding on the newbie gains right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like when people get like new muscle growth and start doing something new, we call it newbie gains, and it happens, and you just start going like straight through the roof, and you're seeing progress like really quickly. Eventually, depending on how good your coach is and your body type and all that type of stuff. Some people plateau really quickly, and other people just kind of ride it out for like a long time. And then there's always a plateau, and that's a good thing about a coach as well, because they're going to start to see that, and then they're going to switch things up or do things differently, so you can either kind of avoid that plateau altogether, or if you're on the plateau, we can get you off that plateau. Okay. So that's a lot of times people start going to the gym, they start getting those newbie gains, and then they taper off, and then they're like, this sucks. I'm not going to the gym anymore because I'm not seeing the results I want. And that's really where like you have to start being creative and that type of stuff.
That's exactly like one thing I've noticed with Mike is like we'll be working at 100%, right? And he's like, we're going to back off to 85 today. Yep. We're going to work the same muscles, but we're going to do this instead.
Just a different movement.
I would have never, on my own. There's no way I would have.
Yeah, that's cool. I said that you have worked up to 44 pound kettlebell for 50 reps, and now we're working on 53.
Yep.
So those are awesome. Awesome wins.
Past 50 now.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see. What keeps you motivated?
Right now, actually, like on my own, I kind of like have a consistency streak that I keep track of. Yeah. So I don't want to break that. Are you
writing that down, like in notes or something?
Yeah. I have. Have you read? There's a book. I forget what it's called, but it's called Atomic Habits.
Oh yeah, I've
I use one of the little tools. It's like this little jar I found at the dollar store with like little clothespins, and every time I throw them in there, and so like watching that pile up.
Oh, so that's what you're just you made a jar, and every time you work out, you throw one in there.
Yeah,
and you're seeing
it. And my goal is to always,
That's awesome.
If I miss one, I might clear it out. There's a way you can deal with that, or just like just know that you didn't like get that today.
You clear the whole thing out, and you have to start from zero.
Well, I haven't missed one yet, so it's still got all of it.
You have to decide whether you're just not going to put one in there, or you're going to clear the whole thing out.
Yeah. So the motivation is to not ever have to clear it out, right?
Totally. Yeah. That's crazy. That's cool. That's a really good thing. I guess I must have either missed that or didn't pick that up. Do they talk about that specifically?
Yeah, it's like a habit training tool. They have, I think somebody uses marbles, or you can use paper clips. I just happened to find this packet. It was small, it was like $1. It was,
that's cool.
I was like, that'll work.
And so when I was younger, I smoked cigarettes for several years, and I wanted to quit, and I finally did. And the way that kept me motivated from not smoking was I had a giant pickle jar, because I was a chef at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Not really a chef, I was a line cook. Anyway, they were $2.39 when I had stopped smoking, so I put $2.39 every day into that jar. And by the time the jar was full, it was like over $1,000. And I was just like, wow, this is awesome. But I never picked up cigarettes ever again. It was awesome. But
that's a good motivator.
That's definitely a good motivator. Seeing that cha-ching, like in the bank, and you're actually watching it go up. And I put it in change so it fit more in there, and you could see it kind of build up more and stuff, but that was really cool.
I would add on to that, like the other motivation is probably like PR stuff, like I track all my PRs. So just now I'm lifting a heavier weight, like that feels good. Like okay, good, we're making progress.
Yeah, I think you now have the big plates on too, right? And some extra.
Yeah.
When you're doing the squats.
Yeah.
So that's really cool when you can hit that, like what we call like the dinner plates.
Yeah. I got some dinner plates.
Yeah, you got some dinner plates on there. Cool. Do you have any goals that you have, like, since you started? Is there new goals that kind of come up in your mind, or is it still kind of the same things that you were trying to achieve when you first started?
I think now, more the PR stuff, just making sure like I'm progressing.
Yeah.
Again, one of my goals is to not put out that progress draw, right? So I try and get in here and get it done.
I hope some listeners really use that. That is it's a great tool. I mean, I really hope that people hear that and use it. Yeah.
Goals, clothes fit better.
Yeah.
Just, my kids are really active, so being out with them, me just keeping up, and, I can feel myself already getting stronger, so.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've seen a notice in your body composition as well when I'm like from day one to now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you may not see it because you see it every day, but you walk in, I'm like, you hold yourself differently. You're starting to look like you're changing, and that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good to hear.
You are, you have 2 kids, right? 2 kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're both in sports.
Yep.
And so you're a busy guy, and you work.
Yeah.
How is that? I mean, has that been like any type of roadblocks for you? I know that when I'm meeting with new clients or with potential clients that like kind of are falling off the wagon, they use that a lot. Like, oh, I'm just so busy, I just can't get in. How do you navigate like around that?
That's a great question. That's actually, when you go back to your other question, why Strength Warehouse?
Yeah.
It's because of the time too. Like I could get in here, like I'm here right now, it's 12 o'clock, 12:30 during the day. As soon as my kids are off school, we're driving to practice. We're, we've got bedtime routine, dinner routine, like family time is after school during the week. So, I have a desk job. Luckily, I can get away as long as, everything's looking good on that end. So
the biggest thing, I think the biggest takeaway here is no matter what, you have to carve out a little bit of time for you.
Right.
And if you don't, you will not be able to help your kids and your family and your business and all that type of stuff as good as you could if you just have to take that time out. And there's no like option. You just got to do it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I said for years when like did the analysis paralysis stuff, like it's like you just got to do it.
Yeah, you just got to do it. You can also, somebody told me
there's always
this.
Gonna be time excuse, right?
Yeah, somebody told me this the other day because I was like really looking into doing this one investment strategy, and he's like, dude, I've already met with you like 3 times, and I'm the same way. I was like, oh, I don't know, I just want to do this and this. I gotta look at this one. He's like, dude, you can only know so much, and the last like 3 to 5% or 10% or whatever it is just you doing it. Like, get off of your butt and do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm right there because I know like 90% of everything that's going on with this one particular vehicle. It's just still a little scary, and I'm like, I don't know still. So I haven't done it yet, but I will.
That was the other thing. I was like, do I want to do swimming? Do I want to do some other kind of workout type thing?
Yeah.
It's like, just get in and start doing one.
Yeah,
right?
just doing one. Yeah,
and
it may not be forever. You may decide that you want to do some swimming or something later on, or whatever. But I think strength training always needs to be like a key staple in whatever you're doing for fitness.
Totally.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool, man. Have you found great value in coaching? And if so, can you like elaborate a little bit about that?
I'm so glad that I went the coaching route instead of like, like I said before, I've gone like just 24-hour fitness type gyms and like floated around, stuff like that. It's a good motivator too. Like when you're tired or something, like we've backed off certain exercise, switched to a different one. Like, okay, let's do that one today. We'll get at least something in, or we'll get that done. Or
maybe because something's like
feeling 100%.
Yeah, like something's nagging at you, or just tired or whatever. You can kind of switch tracks right there, and they'll guide you.
Or like lack of sleep or something, or like it's like. I put up this much last week, and all of a sudden this week, like I'm really struggling to like lift that.
Right.
Just like having somebody who knows, like, okay, let's back off that. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna do X, right? And so like that stuff's been awesome. Learning like how to lift and what positions to be in, which like part of your body to protect when you're lifting something really heavy. Has been awesome. Just learning all that stuff, like. Great. I probably would have hurt myself by now.
It's very possible. I see that happen quite a bit. Or like the biggest thing I see is kind of what you said, like well, last week I lifted this week I didn't, so I don't want to do this anymore. Or I'm just, they don't necessarily like switch in their brain that second, but you can see it like already kind of switch in their mind, and then they stop coming to the gym more frequently, and then less and less, they just, kind of fizzle out at that point. But a lot of people will do that. They're like, last week I lifted 180 pounds, this week I can only lift 150. This is stupid. I don't want to do this anymore.
Or the inverse of that too is like, if I lifted 180 pounds, I might just keep doing that for a month. Yeah. And, I've had Mike be like, no, we're going up. And I'm like, oh, we are. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I do it. And it's like, oh, I didn't know I was ready to go up.
Yeah, totally. And that's where the coach can really help you. Like, okay, everything looks solid and you're not struggling too much. It might just be a little bit of like some self-confidence that you need help with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, you can go up 5 pounds, or you can go up 10 pounds or whatever. Or maybe it's say, no, it's not. Let's stay here. And that's a great point. You can either go up in weight or you can go up in intensity and reps.
Yes.
So it's like last week we did 185 or whatever it is. It's 135. We can do 135 this week and do a whole nother set of reps, and then you're going to get more working.
Yeah.
First, or this week we can go up 155 pounds and do a little bit more weight. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners, man?
Yeah, just say if you're on the fence, like, and you know what, you guys do a free
intro
or a starter class. I forget what it was. The three.
Yes. So with the on-ramp?
On-ramp.
Yeah, those aren't free, but yes, we do the on-ramp, and that's a good...
That's where I started.
Yeah, some people start there, and then they just decide whether they're going to go group or one-on-one, or there's like, I've had people come in and they're like, yeah, that was great, but I don't think this is for me. And I'm like, that's okay. This is why we do this, so you not get into like a crazy commitment or something like that, which we don't have any crazy commitments anyway, but some people are just like, I just want to get my feet wet and kind of see if strength training is good for me. Well, this is a great way to jump in, have it coach led. You can get a feel for what weightlifting's like and strength training, and kind of make your decision from there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool, man. Oh, I wanted to say, I know you had shown a little bit of interest in doing a competition someday, a powerlifting competition. So I wanted to dive into that just a little bit.
Okay.
So what kind of sparked your interest on that?
Actually, just having you guys talk about it, kind of educate me on that. You asked me directly, and I was like, I wasn't sure. It was during a workout, so I think I walked away to finish the workout. I was in my mind like, okay, I got this done, but I don't know. I'm really interested in probably attending one in person, sure. And then I don't know, at my size, like, I don't know if I'm going to be competitive as far as like putting up a ton of weight, right? Sure. But
that's just the thing. Like, we have to think about it. The first one is very difficult to be super competitive, like, because you don't know how to run the game. It's like going to a baseball game or a basketball game or a football game and being like, I want to be the all-star. Well, you haven't even done the game once. You can't expect to be really good at it. Mm-hmm. Now you can be strong, but I think the first thing is just really getting in and learning how the game works and having fun with it, and then competing against yourself. Next time, you say you put up, 500-pound total, for all 3 lifts or whatever, and the next time you're like, I put up a 650-pound total. The next one you do, it's like, now I've done a 700-pound total, and now you're like, okay, now I can start seeing where I'm, starting to get competitive with other lifters. But it's really difficult to know how competitive you're going to be at any one meet because you have no idea who's going to be there. You may be the only one in your class, and then that way there's going to be nobody to compete against. You are the winner. As long as you get a total, you will get a first place trophy in that class. Yeah, if you're the only one in that class. But when you go to like looking at records and stuff like that, I didn't even look at records for like years of powerlifting because I was like, I don't even want to worry about it. I just want to go in and get it in. And then once I did look at them, I was really sad because they were so high. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get those. And I currently do have one. I did get one, but it took almost 10 years to get that record. Wow. It took 9 years because I got it last year. It's still standing. I just looked at it the other day. I look at it from time to time and like, I hope nobody beats that.
That's awesome. Is that in Oregon, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's Oregon. So you get you can only break records in the state that you are registered in as a lifter.
Oh, okay.
So you can't go to like Idaho and break Idaho records and Washington break Washington records. You have to be. So if that was the case, you just go to nationals and beat the national record.
National records.
Yeah. So they don't want one person owning every single state record.
Right. So, that would make sense.
That would make sense. Yeah, for sure. But cool, man. Well, if there's nothing else you'd like to share with our listeners, I think we're all good to go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks, man, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Love the show.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for joining us today, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thanks for joining us on this epic journey of strength. If you liked this episode, please leave us a review and share with a friend. To stay connected, hit that subscribe button. All right, until next time, go heavy or go home.